The White House's request for a $60 billion aid package remains stalled in the House after passing the Senate. Today in Washington, a truck with a large screen will circle the Capitol all day, playing an ad put together by the group of VoteVets urging action on Ukraine funding using the words of Ronald Reagan. Take a look.
You all knew that some things are worth dying for. One's country is worth dying for, and democracy is worth dying for because it's the most deeply honorable form of government ever devised by man.
And retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman joins us now. He's a senior advisor with VoteVets. And Colonel Vindman, great to have you on the new program. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Appreciate it. I want to talk to you about the ad in just a moment, but first let's talk about this $300 million. I mean, is this the equivalent of sort of looking under the sofa cushion in the Pentagon budget to help the Ukrainians over there? It's a drop in the bucket in terms of what's needed.
It is, frankly, I'd say in Pentagon dollars, that is seat cushion. You know, what you find in your seat cushions.
Yeah.
It's not going to take them very far. I think the key point to this is that there is about $4 billion in presidential drawdown authority. There is not replenishment dollars to be able to refill the stores, but the president does have the ability to use those funds, and we need to start thinking about severing the replenishment from the drawdown. Why? Because the fact is that we have additional resources. We have padded our stockpiles in stores to fight our own wars in case our own troops are involved. But like I said, they're padded. So it means you have some extra breathing room. You could apply some of those resources to help Ukraine win, and then put the onus on Congress to pass additional money to make sure our cupboards aren't bare in case our own troops are at risk. We need to move in that direction now. That's probably one of the critical things we could do in order to sustain the war effort until Congress passes the $60 billion supplemental.
Yeah, and that VoteVets ad, let's talk about that a little bit. Why use Reagan?
Well, I think the fact is that Reagan probably is one of the most thoughtful in terms of thinking through the dangers of authoritarianism. He oversaw the final stages of the end of the Cold War, and I think he captured the spirit of the United States, which is facing down authoritarianism, nurturing democracy, and we are trying to remind the Republicans of their roots. That they were the party of national security and defense. Clearly, that's not the case now.
This was Reaganism.
Yeah.
Reaganism was to stare down the Russians, call their bluff,
and
peace through strength.
Yeah. Now we have a Republican Party that's willing to cast aside national security, the potential risk to our troops, in order to curry favor with Donald Trump, who himself is trying to curry favor with Vladimir Putin, and that's not the roots of the Republican Party. That is also not going to serve the Republican Party very well. They certainly have lost the brand of national security and defense. And frankly, they will be held accountable if American lives are lost. And that's what we are trying to remind them of. We're having this billboard rotate through. We're having Fox News campaign with this particular ad.
Running the ad on Fox.
Running the ad on Fox. We're going to run this in several districts for vulnerable Republicans, hold them accountable. Either they pass the bill or they could be accountable to their constituents. It's a full court press. We're in a narrow window where we could pass this Ukraine aid bill. We're going to try to do the best we can to remind, awaken the Republicans to their roots. And if not, we're going to impose some costs. So either they do the right thing for national security reasons or they get held accountable at the ballot box.
And you and I have talked about this a little bit before. In an interview with state media, Putin is talking, he's doing some saber rattling again, talking about using nuclear weapons. He seems to do that every 6 months or so. What's your sense of that?
I think the fact is, those have rung hollow with me since the beginning. Putin acts on the basis of regime preservation, regime survival, aggrandizing, empire building. Nuclear weapons are the road to destruction, mutual destruction. So those are really hollow threats. And, we saw a recent report about the fact that the administration was deeply concerned about some saber rattling in the past. I think that's intentional. It's what Russia does with regards to information confrontation, reflexive control, this idea, this doctrine that they've developed. If they do certain things, they elicit certain responses. And they've done that successfully with regards to escalation, warning off the administration for providing adequate support. This administration, it's on the Republicans to pass this bill. It's the most important thing we could do. But this administration has recourse also. It could provide additional support through the Presidential Drawdown Authority. It could dip into Russia's central bank assets that are frozen and pass those off to Ukraine. That's an easy thing for the administration to do. The administration has a decision that it's on with the president to lift some severe restrictions on contractors in country. That's critical because we provided masses of equipment to Ukraine without any means to support them.
The question is whether the question is how much the administration can do at this point. The $300 million is an indication that that they're running out of unilateral options. But as always, Colonel Vindman.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for your time. We'll be on the lookout for that billboard and that ad. Maybe not playing on this channel as much, different channel. Interesting to watch. All right.
We'll cover it. We'll blanket everything. We're going to do everything we can to be effective and make sure that we leave nothing on the table to get this aid bill passed. It's critical for U.S. national security, and that's what VoteVet does. We make sure that our troops are secure now and going forward.
All right, Colonel Vindman, great to see you. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
All right.